In this video, I'm going to show you one of the most important processes of building your agency, which is hiring and delegating. You cannot do this shit solo. You need a team around you if you want to scale to those 50K, 100K months plus. You definitely need a solid team. So I'm going to show you the exact process and the exact structure you should be using to find those team members, hire them, train them, and how to onboard them smoothly into your agency. No further ado, let's jump on my screen, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the video. Okay, this is the full walkthrough of hiring for your SMMA. And now, what is the purpose of hiring? Like I mentioned, the whole purpose is for you to escape from service delivery. You do not want to be touching the client accounts. You want to be managing them and managing the team. So obviously you need some people for that. You need to find A level, B level, and C level talent, which I will define what those are in a bit. But you need all types of talent within your business. You need these high performers, and you need the people that are more cost affordable, but still do a lot of the lower level tasks. Now, this is a proven process, and it's probably one of the most life-changing things that you can do for your agency, especially if you're past 20K a month and it's either you or you and a co-founder. Now, I know this process works because we did it ourselves in our own agency. In the past year, I've probably taken over 80 interviews, and we've hired 11 plus team members that have allowed me to get out of service delivery and only be in the management aspect and focus on high-level tasks. Now, this is literally me. We can make 100K a month, and we can still get client results and client testimonials, and I don't really need to be a part of anything. Only way I'm working is managing other people to make sure the process is smooth and to focus on the next strategic steps within the business. There's been a time in the summer, it was the first year ever, where I went away for 2 weeks. I did not look at Slack chats. I didn't touch anything at all. Everything went smoothly, and I came back and everything was the same. There's no fires or anything. That is the most life-changing thing that you can have for yourself and your business, because I know how it feels when you're in every aspect. You're grinding late nights, clients are messaging you, you're also trying to focus on sales and marketing. It is absolutely terrible. So again, this is why you need to hire and delegate properly. Okay, so now let's define what A-level talent is, B-level talent, and C-level talent. From A-level talent, these are top tier talent who has expertise that you lack. Now, at the start, like I mentioned, if you're 20 to 30K a month, let's say you are really good at sales. You love sales. That's all you do. You want to crush sales calls all day. But when it comes to fulfillment, or it comes to operations, or even hiring, anything kind of in the back end of your agency, you suck at, and it feels draining for you to do. Now, that is a good point where you should hire a A-level or even a B-level talent that knows exactly what they're doing on that side that you lack in. So you're really good at sales, but you suck at marketing. You hire someone really good at marketing and you still do really good at sales, and now you have two motherfuckers that clash together and create the best team ever. It's exactly what we did, and it's exactly how you can actually scale from that point very, very easily. Now, when it comes to B-level, I call these Maxwells. Maxwells are experienced talent built for consistency, assigned responsibility, and built to eventually be A-level talent. So basically mid-level talent that still has some skills, still has a lot of potential, and are coachable. We can get them to the A-level eventually, but these people are really here just to be consistent, and you know you can rely on them, and they're just there to really help your agency out. Now, when it comes to C-level, C-levels are people like virtual assistants, ISAs, appointment setters, really cost affordable hires, but still delegates a lot of the bullshit that you shouldn't be doing in your day. So if you're sitting there spamming cold outreach at night or in the morning, you could easily hire a VA to do that for you. Pay them $6 an hour, which is plenty in the region, and you can get them to work for you. And virtual assistants should probably be one of your first hires in the agency, whether it's doing admin tasks, whether again it's cold outreach, anything else that's kind of low leverage but is also cost affordable. You should be definitely hiring that right away. So around that 20-30K a month, you should have one A or B level talent that you hire, and then 1 to 2 C levels. 30 to 75K a month, you should have one A level, 1 to 2 C levels. That's really all you need. And 100K a month plus, that's where you get 2 to 3 A levels, people that are either CFO, COO, operations manager, CSM manager, one of those bigger hires, and then one B level, which could be media buyer, whatever. So that's kind of what it looks like. As you can see here, this is what they look like. A level is an absolute Chad. B level, like I said, this is Maxwell, sitting here consistent, and you can rely on him. He does the good work. And then C level, we got Jerome. Jerome, you know who Jerome is. He probably DMs you on Instagram a lot, but Jerome is there, and he's cost affordable, absolute killer, and most of the time pretty consistent if you hire right. Now, when it comes to the hiring funnels, so For A-level talent, the best hiring funnels you should be using is the paid ads funnel, Indeed, organic funnel, or Discords and or poaching. Now, I'll go over the paid ads funnel in a bit because that is typically what we use and I think is the best, but you can't go wrong with Indeed. If you have anyewhat of an organic social presence on Instagram or even LinkedIn, then you can start doing some more organic posts to try to get people for that hire, or Discords poaching. If you're in a bunch of Discords in the SMA space or anything related, you can ask in there for referrals, and a lot of people will send you referrals if you offer a referral bonus. But for B-level, this would be more LinkedIn, Indeed, paid ads funnel, and Upwork. Now, LinkedIn is not my favorite. We have gotten one really good hire from LinkedIn, but most of the time it's just people spamming the submit application button trying to find a job, and usually not the exact type of people that you're looking for. Again, Indeed is like a way better version of LinkedIn. If you want to just throw up a job post in there, spend $100, $150 on promoting the post, that's typically fine. And then the paid ads funnel, again, I'll go over that in a second, but that is probably the best out of all of these options. And then of course Upwork, which you're probably familiar with, but you can find some pretty talented people on Upwork, sometimes a little bit more expensive, and especially if you're looking for someone long term, maybe not the best, but if it's a short term hire, Upwork is probably the way to go. For C-level, so again, more virtual assistants, overseas workers, you can find them on onlinejobs.ph, you can find them on Upwork, and then you can find them on Fiverr, which I'm very sure that you're already aware of. But yeah, a lot of people don't look on onlinejobs.ph. You really just have to be smart with how you're hiring, and I'll kind of go over the interview process for those C-level hires in a bit, but it's definitely not bad. We've hired a few ISAs from onlinejobs.ph and they've been really good. Now, my personal favorite is, again, these paid ads funnels. If you have the budget, even 20-30 bucks a day to put towards this is probably where you're going to get your highest quality candidates. And typically what we do is run either image ads or video ads calling out the ICP. So for example, we just hired a new CSM. We created an image ad, hiring CSMs. This is what we're looking for. This is what we do. Apply below. And you just leave the targeting broad on Facebook or Meta, and it's probably just going to find your direct ICP. All the people that we brought in from the interviews, I had around 20 interviews for it. They were all really good quality candidates for the most part. And it came down to like 3 really quality ones where I had to choose between. So definitely works. But yeah, you can do videos or even images. Videos are typically better because it attracts more people that are like you or more of a culture fit, which is good. But essentially, you want to send these people from the ads to a landing page with a VSL and a job description, and then also a survey with qualifying questions where they have to submit a 2 to 3 minute long Loom video and their resume as well. So you make the friction pretty high in this landing page. You have the description, you have the headline calling out who they are. VSL is definitely recommended, kind of just going over what the hire looks like, who you are, why you're hiring, all that good stuff kind of gets answered in the VSL. And that way, when they show up to the interview, they're even more prepared and ready to be excited to get the job. And then again, you put them through that survey, ask maybe 4 to 5 qualifying questions, get them to submit the Loom video and the resume. And then from there, they're going to start booking in calls from a calendar embed. I'll show you a live example in a bit here, but essentially once they book in calls, you can go in the morning and look at how many interviews you have booked and just disqualify them or keep the interviews depending on the quality, obviously, if you want to actually take them. And it really helps having the Loom videos because there's some people that submit resumes and they seem like a really good fit until you watch that Loom video and you're like, hell no, that is not an option. I'm going to cancel this right away. So it's really good to have that. I'm going to show you a live example of what one of our landing pages looks like right now. So this is a landing page. This one doesn't have a VSL on it. I didn't put a VSL for this position and it was okay, but I definitely recommend still putting a VSL. But yeah, this is an example of a landing page. We built this through Go High Level. You can also use something like Jotform to create a funnel, but we just use Go High Level. Keep it simple and easy. But as you can see here, we have this. We have a job description that opens up and has a full job description here, who this role is perfect for, what's your responsibilities, what you won't be doing, what we're looking for, compensation, all that good stuff. Now, right here, we have the survey, asks some pretty basic information, and then if you go through it, has some qualifying questions. Won't go through it right now. URLs right here if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, it goes over the role, key responsibilities, the culture, the growth, must-haves, nice-to-haves, and then yeah, they basically go through here, submit a Loom video, submit the resume, and book in a call, and then I take a look at the calls and see if they're a good fit. This is an example of an ad that works for us for hiring, but it just says we're hiring client success manager, remote full-time Canadian Canadian residents only. Help scale 500 million in client deals. Work directly with founders, performance bonuses, and growth paths. Keep it simple. Don't need anything crazy. But again, spending money on your own meta ads versus spending money on a LinkedIn job post or Indeed job post is typically better because you have more control over who you're actually targeting. And of course, if you have the ad spend, it works out great. Now for the actual interview process. So this is when you've went through that landing page, they booked in a call, and you look through the calls in the morning and you see that they're actually pretty good quality. You watch the Loom video and you're like, okay, these guys have some potential. Let's hear them out. Now this is the actual interview process. So you have two options for this. So essentially the first option, which I recommend for all C-level talent, if you're hiring VAs, virtual assistants, ISAs, option one is to have a group interview. So you invite over 10 candidates. You could have up to 100 candidates if you really want, and you have a group interview where you bring them all in a Zoom call. You chat about exactly what you're looking for. You get them to raise their hand in the Zoom call and kind of go over question by question. Whatever person has the best answers to those questions, it's usually like a 30-45 minute call. It's pretty long because you again have to go through all the candidates that you have in there, but you should be able to pretty quickly weed out the people that you don't want, mark down the people that had really good answers to invite them to a one-on-one interview a day later that day, whenever you want to do it. That's typically the way to do it with VAs, especially if you're hiring off like something like onlinejobs.ph. It's way easier just to invite all of them to one big group call so you can really weed people out, because with the C-level talent, they don't need to be the best fit and the best hires, but they just need to be people that are consistent and good enough to be able to do that task. Now for B-level and A-level talent, I recommend doing option two, which is essentially having one intro call that is one-on-one. Essentially, this is like a round one interview where you basically go over more questions about who they are, why they're interested in the job, what they're currently doing, what's their background, all this good stuff. And then for those people that make it through that round one interview, you invite them to a second round interview, and this could be you and a co-founder or anybody else that's within your agency, just to kind of have like more aspects and more eyes on it. Those people would go to a second round interview that's filled with more technical questions, situational questions, and really just see if they actually know the knowledge that they said they know about in the first call, really to see if they're a good fit. Now, one super important thing that I've learned in this process, and I wish I did it before, is never go off of gut feeling. That is the worst thing that you can do. What you should have, which I'll go over in a second here, is a interview scorecard. So again, if you're hiring for that B level and A level, you're doing the intro call to second round interview, you should have processes for both rounds, and you should have a scorecard. Now, you mark people on certain situations and how they answered it. If, for example, if there's a situational question about a client situation, a client is churning in a month, what are they going to do to fix that churn? You go through, you have a pre-written answer that is like the best case scenario, and you have it worth 3 points or 2 points, whatever it is, and just get people to go through those questions, and you mark down the points on a scorecard on Google Sheets. And whatever person at the end of the interview process has the best scorecard and best points are most likely the people that you should hire. If you just go off of gut feeling, it is not the smartest thing to do, and we've made a lot of mistakes that have caused internal turnover just from going off of our gut feeling and thinking that they might be the best candidate. Now I'm quickly going to go over just what it looks like for us, again, for this most recent hire that I just hired for last week. I'll show you what it looks like. So round one, again, this one is more of just like value-based, their purpose, coachability, all this good stuff. So I have this whole like script I kind of go over in the interview, ask them what specifically caught their attention about the role, made them decide to apply. If the role worked out really well, what would they be looking to be doing in 2 to 3 years? Kind of see what their mindset's like, your desire for responsibility, if it's alignment with your agency's growth, all that good stuff. But yeah, I can put these in the bio down below if you want to take a look at them. But yeah, the second one is more about like technical questions. I have situational questions in here. So again, I'll put them in the bio below. Now, as I mentioned, the scorecard is super huge. So this is kind of what it looks like for us. So we have the round one questions right here, and we have these main questions that we ask, and then we just put a score 1 to 3 on these areas and then see what their total is. So you would have one scorecard for each candidate that you have. Round two, again, more situational questions. It's a little bit longer, and you can score them all and kind of just see how they do, see if they're good at role playing, whatever it may be. And that is the best way to do it for sure. Okay, so let's say that you went through that interview process and you found one really good person for that role, and you're like, yep, this is the one, this is the perfect fit, let's go, and you hire them. So the process after that, you would basically get them to sign an agreement with the compensation and an NDA clause. So just make sure that they're not asking for more money, or you have NDAs where they're not showing your information to other clients. Obviously, obviously they could probably do and you wouldn't know about it, but just having that NDA clause is very helpful just to kind of scare them away from any ideas like that. But again, if they're the perfect fit, then they should probably be pretty trustable already. But essentially get them to sign the agreement, go through a training process with documented SOPs and a crash course. So this is again something that I wish I did a little bit sooner, is create a short crash course of Loom videos on that specific role that you're hiring for. So when you bring someone on, all they have to do for the actual training process is watch through that short crash course for the first 1 to 3 days of the exact videos that you have going over that role. So you don't need to sit on a call, explain to them how to do it. They go to do it, they make a mistake, they have to learn to try again, and that process just gets elongated, especially when you're hiring more than one people for that role. So I do recommend creating just as many SOPs and a crash course on the role as possible, so it makes the training time a lot shorter and a lot more efficient. Now, once they go through those training processes, you want them to shadow whoever is in the current role, or if there's nobody in the current role, then shadow you doing that role for at least 1 week minimum. Like just having that shadowing process where you hop in a live Zoom call, they see you go over the exact activities or tasks that they need to do. It's really helpful and avoids a lot of future mistakes they might be making because they're literally learning from the person that is doing it. Now, after they shadow people, you can eventually start to add some more responsibility and kind of leave them on their own a little bit and see how they do. Again, mistakes will probably be made, but as long as they're learning from those mistakes and they're being coached by you or another person on how to fix those mistakes and it's actually happening, then you're on a good trend and a good role. It'll take probably 1 to 2 months for someone to really excel at a role and feel like they're a part of it. So be patient with them, but if there's a lot of mistakes, then definitely fire fast. Now, the probation period, like I just mentioned, you want to hire slow and fire fast. You want to take your time and do not rush a hire. We've done this so many times where we had 2 weeks to find someone. We rushed to get someone and they didn't turn out to be that good. It caused internal turnover. It caused mistakes within our clients and everything kind of went to shit. So take your time to actually hire slow and find really good quality people. And if they don't work out, fire fast. Like get rid of them absolutely immediately, because the longer they are there and they're not a great fit or they're causing issues or mistakes within your agency, the more you're just having opportunity costs for people that would be the perfect fit for that role. You're just waiting that time out way too long to find someone else. So I do recommend in the contract that they sign, you have a 2 to 3 month probation period where you can get rid of them at any time during those 2 to 3 months if they are not the best fit, and you don't have to provide any explanation other than just, hey, you signed up for this probation period, didn't really work out, I'm gonna find someone else, thank you for your time, see you later. So tough to do. Like hiring and firing is a very hard process, but once you have it down pat and you have everything systemized, it makes it a lot easier. And again, you need to do this if you want to scale your agency. Like you cannot do this alone. You need a solid team. It's going to make your life better. It's going to make the agency better. Overall is the best way to go. So if you repeat this process for every single hire, this should be you. You're a CEO. You're a real business owner now. You got some team members behind you. You guys are crushing it. You talk to clients. You say, yeah, we will handle it, not I will handle it. And that is the way to go. So you're going to have a team of A players, B players, and C players who give you leverage back in your business and buy back your time. You only focus on needle moving strategic work while the rest of your business is a well-oiled machine with high-level talent crushing for your clients. So that is the exact goal you should have. And you can get there through the process I just shared. If you have specific questions about anything that I had, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you want to scale your agency one-on-one with me, fix your operations, then click the first link in the bio. Let's have a chat and see if it makes sense for you. But don't overlook how important hiring and delegating is for your agency. Like seriously, take this and actually put in the work and start those hires as early as 20 to 30K a month with the C level or even at B or A level talent at that point. And yeah, once you do it right, you'll see how magical this shit is. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found some value, and let me know in the comments for any other ideas that you want on any agency operations, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.